Okay, let's go ahead and continue on in Chapter 4. I'm on page 4-10. Step 11 of this chapter. And we are going to make an alignment pin. Let's see how this goes. I'm going to share my screen with you so you've got my SolidWorks screen. Okay. Okay, so what we're going to do this time, we're going to draw on the right plane. I'm going to sketch. And now we are going to sketch a profile as shown using the line tool. So let's go on sketch, draw a line, and my origin is down here in the corner. All right, let's go ahead and draw this thing. Okay, now we're going to have to add some dimensions and some relations. So let's start with this guy. It's only 1/4 of an inch. And this distance is 0.150 inches. Okay, those two, I need to see my relations because I think I've got a mistake here. I do, that one says it's supposed to be vertical. And I am going to see if I can grab that. No, okay. I'm going to remove that vertical. Okay, now that should allow me to grab and drag that angle. There we go. Because if you notice, I need that line to be at 59 degrees from the horizontal. There we go. So my Smart Dimension tool can allow me to set degree dimensions as well. There we go. This whole thing should be 0.6 inches end to end. And see this one, that one, 1.5, and then this one to that one, 0.158. And I need from this point to that line to be 0.425. And that fully defined my sketch. So we will exit out of here. Okay. My dimensions are a little ugly, but they work. Now we need to put in one more line. that you may not have noticed, and that's that center line that goes from the origin horizontally. And we need that because that line is going to be the center of our revolve. So what we're going to do is we're going to spin this profile. This is a shape that we want to revolve around this axis. Pretty sure I want that to be a horizontal line, and we'll say okay. All right, let's now go back out here to features, and we're going to click revolved boss or base. And the first thing it wants me to do, so you need to set your axis, which is that blue line. You want to set your direction to blind. And you can do a lot of different options here, but we're going to do blind. And we want to go all the way around. And so we're going to click OK. And there is my pin. So you'll notice that that angled line that we had, let me turn this into a wireframe. So that angled line that we had in there kind of created this pin point, this beveled edge here. Because my end was solid, I have a solid end, and then I have a hollow end. So this is how you can create all sorts of shapes by revolving them. Pretty handy. Okay, now we are going to chamfer. So let's go ahead and chamfer our edges. And we're going to use a chamfer of 0.0325 inches and an angle of 45 degrees. And we are going to chamfer this edge and the inside edge on the end there, and click OK. And that gets us to the middle of 411. And let me turn the up. Okay, so we are going to save this. And I'm going to save this as the alignment pin. And click Save. And that didn't take too long, so let's just go ahead and do the pin head. So I'm going to open a new document by clicking Control N. And I want a part, and we're going to say OK. And again, I really need to set my defaults. There we go. Okay, so we are again, so this time we're going to sketch on the front plane. And we are going to sketch in both the center line and the profile. So let's start with the center line. Okay. Now let's start sketching in our profile. We go horizontally for waves. And then we go straight up. And then back over, up, over, and back down. And everything is perpendicular. So that looks good. Let's put in our dimensions. Go from here to here, and we want that to be 0.250. And from here to here, 0.150. From end to end, my piece is 0.590. And my little part down here is 0.110 inches. And that fully defines my sketch. So we'll click OK. We're going to revolve this guy about the center line using a blind condition, 360 degrees. So click OK. We look good. Let's take a quick look. He should be solid. He is. Excellent. Perfect. Okay, now let's add our chamfers. And we are, once again, this time we're going to chamfer 0.025 inches. And we're just going to chamfer this edge and that edge. And click OK. We want to save this as the pin head. If you do what I'm doing, be careful not to save over the top of your other files. Although if you leave them open, as I did a minute ago, SolidWorks will tell you that that file is open and you need to choose a different name. So that's one safety measure. So let's go ahead and open yet one more file and finish this out. We will do the third subcomponent, which is the single link. Okay, sketching on the front plane. We are going to use a slot. Again, we're going to start at the origin. Whoops. All right, I'll get that in a second. I'm whoopsing because I forgot to change my dimensions. Okay, so I'm just going to live with it like it is for a minute. And I'm going to go ahead and put in this dimension. I'm going to put that as 1.250. And I'm going to select inches. And I'm going to, instead of doing a radius, we are going to go from this side to the other horizontal side and put that in as 1.00 inches. Okay. Let's go ahead and extrude this. We're going to do a mid-plane. Oops, sorry. From the sketch plane through the mid-plane. And we want that to be 0.750 inches. And you'll notice I used a couple of different denotations for inches there. I used the double quote and I used the IN. Either one works, maybe. Yes. Now that I'm no longer in the middle of something, I can go and I can change my dimensions to inches. And if I click on this guy, you can see that it's now displaying all of my dimensions in inches. So SolidWorks is really pretty forgiving. You can adjust your units whenever you need to. Let's go ahead and change my view plane to plain white just because there are other options. You can do a soft spotlight, put them on a rooftop. I'll let you play with those as you would like to. But I'm going to stick with plain white for now. Okay, so I am on actually step 21. So we're now going to recess our profile. Actually, we're going to sketch the recess profile. So we're going to select this face and open a new sketch. And I'm going to sketch 2 circles at the centers of the outer circle commands. So what we're going to do to make that happen is we're going to click on the circle here, and now you'll notice that it gives me, if I hover here, it'll give me that center point. And I want these circles, so I'm going to sketch them both in, and then we will set their dimensions. So this one and that one. Get those circles in. Let's set one of them as we're told to. We want its diameter to be 1.020. And now I'm going to add a relation between this circle and that circle, and I'm going to make them equal. And we're going to click OK. Now you notice these circles extend a little bit beyond the shape. That's all right, because if you look at what we're going to do, we're going to actually use those to trim away unwanted material. So we're going to do an extruded cut. And what we are going to do is extrude in 0.235 inches. Now, we want to make sure that we are going into the shape, and we are. And we are going to say, OK. All right. I'm going to reselect that because now what I'm going to do is I'm going to mirror this thing by clicking on mirror. And I'm going to tell it that I want to mirror on the front plane, which if you remember right, that's the plane that I had through the center of my shape. And I am going to mirror the cut extrude 1. And so SolidWorks gives me some yellow lines so that I can preview what I'm going to do. It looks okay, so I'm going to click OK. And we'll put that back on I think the textbook likes the, nope, I think they're using, it's like the isometric view. Okay, so that is, we've just completed step 23. We're on page 4-16. We're going to go on up now to the top of page 4-17 and complete the remainder of the steps. So what we want to do is we want to select the holes, cut the holes. We're going to select this face. We're going to sketch on that face. We're going to put in a circle. Now I'm going to look normal to this because it's easier for me. Because I want my circle to be centered on this one. And I want a circle that is centered on this one. I'm not sure I got that guy concentric, so I'm going to do him again. Circle. There we go. Okay. Click OK. Now I want my dimension to be 0.325 on the diameter. And I'm going to add an equal relation between these two circles. And my sketch is fully defined. So now we're going to do an extrude cut through all. We can see what that's going to do. And click OK. And there we have a hole all the way through. And let's add some fillets. And we're going to add our fillets pretty much everywhere except for, nope, just on the edges there. So we are going to fillet with a 0.1 inch radius, and we are going to select these edges, top and bottom. So 1, 2, 3, 4. And that's a pretty big cut. 1/10 of an inch is actually quite a bit on a part this size. If you want to investigate how that radius impacts, so if we change that radius, whoops, all right. Okay, now if I make that smaller, oh, all right, we're gonna leave it like that and say, okay. And my part's beginning to look like the one in the textbook. We just need to add a few fillets. And we are going to fillet pretty much everywhere that we didn't chamfer. So we're going to fillet. Sorry, we're going to fillet again. We filleted a minute ago, but we're going to fillet now with a 0.032. And we're going to do that all along this outside edge. And you can see this makes for a much smaller curvature. Around that outside edge, that one, and that one. This one, this one, that one, that one. About the only place we are not filleting is right here inside. So we want to get that one all the way around and that side all the way around. So that inside curved edge right here on all 4 of those edges, we are not filleting. We're filleting every place else though. And we're going to hit OK. All right. And now we have created the 4 pieces that will eventually go together to make that chain that we're going to build later in the term. Right now, we are just going to save this as the single link. And click Save. All right, that's it for the Chapter 4 activity. Go ahead and do those exercises that I've given you from Chapter 4. And I'll see you again soon.